Hola chicos, now that you completed the alphabet, let's bring all of those letters and actually construct phrases. In this first section, we're gonna talk about greetings, and that's the word that you can see here, saludos. So that means greetings, as I said, and we're gonna try to use them right from your first class as soon as you can. So you're getting familiarized with the sounds, you're getting more comfortable with the alphabet and everything that you read. Even if you haven't seen them before, you're gonna be completely independent and you're gonna be quite comfortable in pronouncing words without any help. So let's start in a natural way, and let's just imagine what would happen during the day when you start facing people, and then how can you say hello to them. And of course, and I'm sure that you are completely aware and you know this pretty well, which is hola. It is spelled with a H, and remember that H is completely silent. So every time that you see it, just ignore it and start pronouncing the word from the second letter, in this case, the O. Hola. Can you say it? Perfect. Okay. Next one will be a question. And just a quick reminder, I know that you already noticed this, but Spanish requires you to always spell and use double question marks and double exclamation marks. So it is very important and it become quite useful when you're reading, and you will notice this bit by bit. And it's spelled like an upside down one to indicate that that's where your question starts, and then you use the one that you're used to in English just to close the phrase and to close the question. The same for the exclamations as we did with hola. Okay, let's read the following one. This is the standard one, and you can use it anywhere you go, and it reads ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás? So notice that at the end of the stars, I'm kind of lifting my tone of voice because I'm letting you know that I'm asking you. This is a question. In this particular case, it's quite obvious because we have the interrogative adverb como, but you will notice later that Spanish doesn't need adverbs or auxiliary verbs to create questions. We rely completely on our tone of voice because structurally, grammatically, you won't notice a change between a statement and a question. Now, if it doesn't make much sense that I tell you, leave your tone of voice at the end, what you can imagine to do is you can you're stretching the last syllable of your word. Yeah, maybe a little bit weird, but it really works. So you can say, ¿Cómo estás? So you're kind of elongating and taking a little bit longer than the rest of the phrase. ¿Cómo estás? And that is a proper question. Now, that's how it's spelled. Now, if you want, if you are with people that you know already, you're with your friends, or basically you already know these people you are greeting, and you are more comfortable, you can use a more friendly phrase, almost a colloquial way, which is this one. How do you think you're gonna pronounce that? Did you try? Okay, so we're gonna say ¿Qué tal? ¿Qué tal? So, and that will be closer to how's it going? And this is quite a little bit more relaxed and a little bit more friendly, as I said, like rather than just ¿Cómo estás? So you see the one, and they're perfectly beautiful. Muy bien. Okay, siguientes. Depending on the time of the day, we are going to be using these three phrases that you have in here. Buenos días, buenas tardes, and buenas noches. Depending on, as I said, depending on the time of the day, you're going to be using this just by saying that you already imagine what they mean. So we have the first one will be good morning, then we will move on to good afternoon, and the last one is good night. Where is good evening? No existe en español. Lo siento, I'm so sorry, but there's nothing that we have for good evening. Now, talking with friends, talking with people from Spain and Latin America, you get to know and you get to understand more or less why or what the variations or what the differences and how we express ourselves. Our night usually starts for most of Latin Americans. We're gonna say buenas noches around 7 p.m. But it's not like a huge mistake if you don't, of course, but it's quite like a cultural thing. And at least the two countries that we kind of aware of that they don't, and the afternoon prolongs a little bit longer than that, that would be Spain and Argentina. And our theory here is that usually they have this beautiful tradition of having dinner quite late, and the afternoon obviously revolves around dinner time. So that's why an afternoon can be a little bit later for them than the rest of us. Okay? But in the end, this is just something like a fun fact that in the end, we're trying to make this as easy and as natural as possible. So you don't have to be stressed over any of that, but it is just fun to know why we do that. So from 7 p.m., we're gonna use buenas noches. After that, maybe buenas tardes and buenos días for good morning. Now, another fun fact and another cultural note is that we love eye contact. So whenever you are walking on the street, you cross your neighbor, you cross the person that is staying next door in your hotel. The idea is always to acknowledge people, nod your head, smile, things like that allows us to understand that all's good. I can see you, you can see me, and we are fine. Okay, so that's another thing that we really love in Latin America and in Spain. And okay, so these are more or less the phrases that you could use, the basic ones that you can use for greeting. Now, something that I was almost forgetting to say is this. These three phrases, good morning, good afternoon, and good night, unlike English, you can use them to greet, but also to say goodbye. So that's very, very different from English. So if I tell you buenas noches, it doesn't mean that I'm going to bed and that is, I'm not gonna see you until tomorrow or something like that. I'm not telling you good night to go to bed. Okay? So it can also be a greeting, and I can use it when walking into a room and start the night with a class or something, a party. Okay? So that's something also to keep in mind and get used to, so you can use them properly. Good. Okay. So next three. How can I reply to the phrases, to the question if someone asks me, ¿Cómo estás? Okay, so I can say, estoy bien, which translates, I am well, as you can suspect. Let's put it here. But sometimes we don't feel that well. Maybe we can say, I'm okay, or more or less. We could use okay, of course, because we are so influenced by English. So you can say, estoy okay. But our phrase will be, estoy más o menos. And that is, I am more or less, literally. And that is why it's the closest thing for you to use as I'm okay. Not that great, I'm not dying either. Okay? Estoy más o menos. Like this. Okay? And the last one, sometimes we not feel that well. So for that, we're gonna start with a no. No, that's too close to the start. Let's move it away a little bit. So, no estoy muy bien. And that would be, I am not very well. Muy bien. So with this, I think we covered some basics to say hello to someone and to reply if they're asking us how we're feeling, or if you're asking someone how they feel. So remember also, like obviously is expected. If someone is asking you, ¿Cómo estás? And you say, estoy bien, estoy más o menos, always say, ¿Y tú? So obviously, it's just out of politeness and because it's obvious that you also want to know how the other person is feeling at the moment as well. Okay? Perfect. So covering this, now moving on into phrases to say goodbye. Okay?